Hi everyone, I'm Maya from Midwest Photo, and today we have our Canon Rep Ryan Brown with us today, and we are going to be talking about the Canon R1. Ryan, can you share with us just a little bit of some of the specs of the R1 and some of the exciting things that are coming out with this camera?
Sure. So with the R1, we have the new 24.2 megapixel backlit illuminated stacked sensor, and with that it actually has a cross type dual pixel autofocus as well. It has a upscaling feature that goes up to 96 megapixel, and that's done in camera. Some of the other new features on it, we have a bigger viewfinder with eye control, so that comes out of the third camera now with eye control, including the R5 Mark II and the R3. It also includes 40 frames per second and mechanical shutter, and we can go up to 102,400 ISO. So if you're going to shoot in lower light, it does a really great job with that. And part of that is with a neural network noise reduction that we can do.
Can you go over some of the video features as well? Because I know we also have, kind of like the R5 Mark II, an easy switch over from photo to video now.
Sure. Similar to the R5 Mark II, it does have that video button where you can click it from still to video. And once you do that, you're going to get a 6K camera with unlimited recording. And it's going to give you the same codecs as the C80 and the C400. So if you wanted to use this as a B cam in your productions with those other cameras, you could, getting similar color and similar codecs.
That's amazing.
Also, it comes with a built-in tally lamp similar to the R5 Mark II as well. So you know, as your subject, your talent is in front, they can see that when it's recording.
That's sweet, and I like that it's kind of competitive with those cinema camera lines, and you can still use it as a B camera. That's amazing. Sure. Can we go through some of the autofocus system and what's new with that?
Sure. So with the autofocus system now, some of the new features that we have in this camera is an action priority feature where you can put it into action priority, enable it, and then you get a sport mode. The sports that it's optimized for in action priority are basketball, volleyball, and soccer. So it'll optimize it for those sports. You're going to get a nice sticky autofocus. Something else that you can do in here is facial registration. So if you are photographing, say, a wedding, you can register the bride and groom in there, and when they come into the frame, it's going to look for them to focus on.
That's awesome.
And then if the bride's mom is one paying the bill, you can put her number 1 and the bride and groom in number 2 and 3. Also, what we have in here, we have eye control focus as well. You can see the viewfinder is big. And so this is the eye control similar to what we have in the R5 Mark II and the R3. So it'll look where you're going to focus. And you can refine the calibration and dial it in even more to your eye.
How long is the battery life for the R1? And does it change depending on when you use it for sports and weddings, all day, video?
That's a good question. For stills and in video, it's going to vary based on what resolution that you're shooting at. Now this camera does use the LP19 battery pack that comes from the 1DX series cameras and the R3 series camera.
Can we go into the build of the R1, some new features on this? I know we've got a little bit of a different texture on it as well.
So on this camera, this is going to be the biggest one that we have now. It's a little bit bigger than the R3, and it has an improved grip. And with this grip, you're going to see that it's a diamond pattern. It's just a little bit different than what the R3 pattern looks like. Also on here, we have that comes with the new hot shoe cover, and this is the one that locks down that shouldn't fall off on you. Something else that we have on this camera is dual CF Express cards. This is the first camera that we have in the still line that has dual CF Express cards. The R3 had a single CF Express and 1 SD card. Weight is approximately about 2.5 pounds on this camera as well.
So compared to the R3, how much bigger is the R1?
So the R3 is about 2.2 pounds, where this camera, the R1, is about 2.5 pounds. So it's just a little bit heavier.
Okay. As far as lenses go, what lenses are compatible with the R1, and maybe what are some of the lenses that we have out now that you could get with the R1?
So this camera is sold in body only, it's not sold in a kit. But any of the RF series lenses are going to work great. And if you wanted to put any of the EF lenses on there, you can't put the adapter. We have 4 different adapters that you can use on here.
Okay.
And we have some great new lenses that have been out now for a little while. So for the sport shooter and the wildlife shooter, that would work great with this camera.
Okay, that's awesome. As far as connectivity goes, do we have Bluetooth, built-in Wi-Fi? What comes with the R1 as far as that?
Yeah, so this camera has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and includes Wi-Fi 6. That's going to have some enhanced security features. And we also have a network cable, a network port on the side of the camera if you want to go with that connectivity feature as well. Canon has an app called Canon Camera Connect that works great with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi with these cameras, that you can download your photos to the phone, and you can also fire the camera from the app as well.
That's awesome. I've used the Canon Connect app before, and it's really helpful, especially with solo shooting. As far as the user interface, I know there's a new menu system that only the R1 and the R5 Mark II have.
Sure.
How intuitive is that menu system? What are the improvements that you've seen and liked on that?
Yeah, so what I like on this new menu is there's a new menu that's the green menu, and it's all customization features, where most of these buttons on these cameras now are customizable. They put all of that feature, all of the customization into its own menu system so you can find it easily.
Okay, that's sweet. All right, now for the big question. What price are we looking at, and what is the value compared for R1 to other cameras and that price comparison?
Sure, so the flagship camera, the R1, body only is going to go for $6,499. And that will be available to you on November 14th.
Who would we say this camera is ideally for?
So this camera is for your professional, high-end professional shooters, your sports photographer, your wildlife photographer, anybody that's going to be outside the elements, such as a journalist, that needs the rugged build quality of this.
That's great. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing more about
Thanks
the
for
R1.
having me.
Of course, and sharing more about the R1. You can pre-order your R1 now for its official release date on November 14th. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks.